Folks, we're back. It's been several weeks. We know that. There's been a little delay. We had Labor Day weekend, and then we had Hurricane last week. I see everybody's okay, but tough getting all the practices in last week, wasn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it was a great adversity, but we overcame it pretty
Great
good.
adversity.
We didn't have it as bad as other people, but we overcame it pretty good, and our guys responded pretty good to it.
Welcome. Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of Blairsville present Union Panthers Playback. I want to thank Domino's Pizza and Pepsi. We're here with head coach Brian Allison, also with the Union Panthers, and defensive coordinator and D-back coach Robbie Roxbury. Our guest tonight, our first two guys on the couch with us, is senior Brian Nelson, outside linebacker, and senior Del Ruff, right guard, number 62. And before we get going, Coach, you know, I was watching film, and I was looking at film, and I said, man, I wish 62 would show up tonight, because I watched film on 62. Are you 62?
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, you had some really nice pulls and lead blocks. I really enjoyed that. I was watching, and I was looking at number 62, and you were pulling. I really like the way you pulled at Banks and put some lead blocks, and that extra 10 and 12 yards are definitely because of some good lead blocks. I enjoyed that, Coach.
No doubt. He does a good job.
Yes, yes. Coach, let's go starting. Non-conference is over. Okay, it's over. You're 4-0, but the reality is it's Friday nights when it starts. But this team here, talk about this team, your first 4 games, been coaching a long time. There's things that you want to see at the end of non-conference going into conference play. Talk about the beginning of this season.
Well, I think the first 4 games were what we went into it hoping it would be, and you know, obviously we go into it and we didn't really at that point in time through those 4 didn't have a really close game per se. We had some good competition. Banks got some few people hurt, but we picked up and found some things that we need to continue to work on and continue to improve. All of our defensive stuff is plays and formations and stunts and blitzes are going in the right direction. Offensively, I thought maybe Cole Wright maybe had played the best game that he's had to date, and you know, just coming along with that offensive line, and they're getting better and better. And so the defensive line right now is playing as good as they've played all year. So it's been a good 4 weeks.
So this non-conference, this Friday night, you have a home game. You're opening against GAC, and we'll just start with that. These 4 non-conference games. Do you feel you made all the adjustments you need to make? You got all the kids in the slots you want them to be in?
I believe so. I believe so at this point in time that we're where we need to be. I think still we'll continue to tweak it as the season goes on, and we'll keep adjusting and making small minor adjustments in our schemes on offense and defense and special teams as we go. But right now everything's pretty much in place and feel pretty comfortable with the situation that we got.
Guys, your seniors on the couch, so let me start. I got 2 different questions. First, I want to talk about this team this year, and it's not that we look for any negatives in the past, but talk about both of you, what you're seeing in this team, your seniors. What is it about this team that's working, that's different than last year, that you guys are playing as a group? Talk about some of those things this year.
Well, I think this year, I've only been up here a year. You know, I moved up here halfway through the year last year. And last year's team, you know, we'd come out at halftime a little flat. But I think this year we have a lot more grit than we did last year at the end. And I think that's really helping us a little bit through these first 4 games. And I'm hoping it helps us a little bit this week because it's going to be a tough game this week.
Brian, you're an outside linebacker. You know, your 4 non-conference games, high scoring. Offense is on the field a lot of the time. Defense is not. Now, you got all week to prepare. I know it's only Monday, but are you already looking at the adjustments you have to make for a very fast, high-powered, a good team coming to town Friday night? What is your defense? Are you guys ready for that?
I believe that if we work hard and be together as a team, a brotherhood that we have right now, we're going to do pretty good. I feel like we shut down the run plays. They're going to be forced to do stuff they don't like, which is passing. But our defense and our offense, they're looking pretty solid right now.
Ruff, let me come back to you. Offensive line, it's this point of the year that I love to get offensive linemen on the couch because it's 4 games in. Usually you've graduated. A couple guys talked to coach on our first game. Offensive line, had some guys leave, some big guys. Talk about this offensive line. How is it coming together, and how well are you guys working as a unit up front?
Well, at the beginning of the year, weren't too sure at some of the spots on the the line. It wasn't set in stone who was starting. But I think over the past couple games, people have stepped up, like Alec Youngblood. I mean, he's not the biggest kid, but he works harder than most of the people out there at practice. And I think to this point, we're starting to turn into a pretty good offensive line.
Well, I do know it's important for the line, starting at least in the region play, start coming together. And I was watching some of the film, and it looks like you guys are really becoming a solid unit together. Coach, sorry about that. I haven't adjusted here. I'm trying to wear the wrong glasses of where I'm supposed to be. I apologize, Coach Roxbury. Coach Roxbury, defensive coordinator. Talk about your defense hasn't been on the field a lot in the last 4 games. I mean, you've played a lot of defense, but offense is big numbers, and you got a lot of time on the offensive side of the ball. Talk about GAC, where you're at on your defense, and how you feel about them coming to town Friday night.
Well, first off, I like it when the offense is on the field. I'm good with that. But as far as where GAC is,
we'll stay with that all year, right?
I'll be glad to.
We'll keep that all year. I understand.
Yeah. As far as GAC goes, I mean, they're solid in all 3 facets of the game. They're good, and but to come out and try to take their best punch as we start the game and kind of weather that storm, so to speak, and then just fall in, see where we can match with speed and try to adjust on the fly and take care of business on our end if we can and see where it all unfolds.
Coach, it's obvious we were down at GAC, and I can't wait to see this game coming Friday night up here. We were down at GAC last year. When you're playing a team like that, at least it is good to get them at home and get the crowd behind you and get the guys at a home game. What is GAC this year? What are they like? Some of the guys they got coming back, and what are some of the things as far as speed that you're going to have to look for Friday night?
Well, I think they're a little bit different than they were last year. They throw the ball, or they threw it a lot more and a lot more efficiently last year. Not to say that they can't do it again this year, but they're more of a run-oriented team, to me, more so than they were last year. So they've got a couple of really good backs. Their offensive line's very solid. So we're going to have to fit in there and fit into our gaps and be good in our gaps and make sure that we do a great job of tackling on them offensively.
Guys, we're going to be coming up on our first break in a minute, and before we do, I like to ask everybody that comes this question. When you left, start with you first, Mr. Ruff. When you showed up at practice this week, what did you say you personally wanted to work on this week? What have you seen throughout last week that you said, hey, when I show up Monday, I want to do better. I want to work on this.
Well, this week, last year, their defense likes to blitz a lot. So this week, I think we are going to work on a lot, like picking up the blitz to the A gap and the B gap, making sure those linebackers don't get in so they bust up our sweep plays and bucks and stuff like that.
What about you? What about yourself, Mr. Nelson? What did you think this week when you got there? I want to work on this. I've got to be prepared for this week.
Well, this week we're going to do a lot of easy. And in the past 4 games, I haven't really done my best at easy because I have to read the tight end or tackle, whatever's on the line, and I haven't done my best of reading him. So I've been trying to work on that, trying to get better and better on reading him and reading the mesh.
Well, we do have good news. You don't have hurricane, fortunately, good Lord willing, and that's over and means you can practice every day. And right, Coach, and practice I don't know how many times a day. I don't want to get in trouble.
Once a day.
Just once?
Just once. That's enough.
I didn't know if they had that 5 a.m. practice.
I wouldn't make it to that.
I'm just joking. So you guys get plenty of practice, plenty of film time for this game. Folks, let me just run this by you before, for those of you that have not been able to keep up. Their non-conference play, they're 4-0 with a win against Gilmer, Hazel, Andrews, and Banks. And the conference is 3A Region 7. 3A Region 7 consists of Fannin, Greater Atlanta Christian, as you'll hear us refer to them, GAC, North Hall, East Hall, Dawson County, Lumpkin County, and that is 3A Region 7. We're going to take a brief break. When we get back, we're going to have another young man with us on the couch. We're going to be joined by somebody else, and we're going to look a little more at the region and what we got coming Friday night for these Union Panthers. You're watching Union Panthers Playback by Team FYN Sports and Circuit World. Take us a break, Richie.
Hi, I'm Casey McGraw, the General Manager of Schottenkirk Ford. We're going to start doing something here at Schottenkirk that we're really excited about. You may have already noticed our Facebook page, the new edition of the 360-degree videos. This allows the user to control the video in virtual reality and see it from any angle you choose, simply by moving your device or scrolling with your finger or your mouse. At Schottenkirk, we've decided to take this groundbreaking technology and apply it to the car shopping experience. Now, if you're interested in a new truck, a family car, or a brand new convertible Mustang, you can simply log on to our Facebook page or our YouTube page and see it for yourself in full HD 360-degree detail. Or contact one of our sales associates who will send you the link directly. If you like what you see and want to take it for a test drive, simply stop on by and take it for a spin. At Schottenkirk Ford, we're committed to not only keep up with new market technology, but we strive to be innovators, while always keeping your comfort and convenience as our #1 priority. So follow us on Facebook, check out our new 360 VR videos, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and Team FYN Sports and Circuit World present, here in Circuit World in Blairsville, present Union Panthers Playback. We want to thank Domino's Pizza and Pepsi for providing a meal and drink tonight for the players and the coaches. We're here with head coach Brian Allison with the Union Panthers, and also defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach Robbie Roxbury. Our guest tonight, joining us now, Matthew Bicey. Did I get it?
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Close.
Close.
Bossy.
Bicey. Just Bicey.
Bossy. Quick.
Don't enunciate. No Bicey.
No
Bicey.
syllables.
Bicey. No syllables. That should be easy for me, no syllables. Right? We're here with senior Matthew Bicey, defensive end, and back on the couch with us is senior defensive, senior, Del Ruff, right guard, offensive right guard. Got it. Okay. We're talking Region 3A Region 7. That's Fannin, Greater Atlanta Christian, North Hall, East Hall, Dawson County, and Lumpkin County. And this Friday night, folks, come out and support. It's conference time, conference football time, and come out and support your Union Panthers 7:30 kickoff. Let me get right with you, Matthew, as a defensive end. You're a senior, and we were talking with Brian Nelson in the last segment. So let me go with you. The defense, okay? How are you guys coming together as a unit? You're a defensive end. How are you guys your defense coming together as a unit as a senior? What do you see a little different this year from years gone in the past?
We're pretty solid coming out in the half. That was something that I really wanted to focus on as a senior this year, is stepping up on that part. Last year we come out and we weren't as solid coming out at halftime, and that was a big one for me because I've always heard since I was a freshman, if you stop them right here, we'll win the game. If you stop them right here, we'll win the game. And we've never stopped them, and we get lucky winning the game, but that was a big one for me. So, I mean, we've stepped up, and we've coming together in the third and fourth quarter a lot better.
Third and fourth quarter, are you how do you feel about your preseason? It's this time of the year where you start really recognizing your preseason conditioning going into the season, and when you start facing some of these challenges in the region, because you're in a tough region, and GAC's coming to town Friday night. How do you feel about you guys physically being ready to play 4 quarters?
Oh, that's cake. That's all I got to say. We've worked, and we've worked, and we've worked.
He gets to come back, Coach. Let me write him down. Go ahead. Tell me about that cake.
We've worked constantly. I mean, you name it. We were out there spring, summer. I mean, we were there. We were getting better. Some of them teams weren't out there getting better, but we were. We were out there days that they weren't out there, and we were getting better. We were getting in better shape. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, obviously, like I said, when you get in these bigger games, the first half, but coming out that second half and staying in the game and playing 4 quarters, and I know you know that being a senior, and so you feel good that the conditioning and this team is ready to play 4 quarters on Friday night? I'd
say this is probably the best condition I know it's the best condition I've ever had this season. I mean, I haven't got winded. I mean, the other day after the game, I could have went 2 more quarters if I had to.
Coach Roxbury, let me ask you that as a defensive coordinator. Obviously, we said in the first segment, you don't mind if the offense stays on field. Let's see. Let me see what you don't mind. You don't mind on any night when Cole Wright passes for 163 yards and rushes for 162. That never bothers you, right?
Bother me, yeah.
So
like to see it.
Like to see it. So, but when you start playing some of these teams that there's going to be maybe some more competition in the region, how do you answer the same question I asked these guys about your defense for playing 4 quarters against the challenge?
Against the challenge? Well, like they said, I mean, these guys have worked really hard, weight room in the off season, and I think it's one of those things that you have to play into, as that game shape. I mean, there's there's conditioning, but I know Coach Allison says it all the time about playing into game shape. You know, you got to be on the field in order to be, 2 3/4 in order to get to the fourth quarter, and then you got to play through the fourth quarter and expect any overtime or to make you better for the next game and so on and so forth. But the guys come out, they work hard Monday through Thursday, and they're a fun group to be around, and like they said, they work hard. So.
Well, let me ask you another thing on GAC. What are some of the adjustments? When I say some of the teams you played, maybe you've not had the challenge of speed. Okay, come up against some speed in the offense. What are the things that they're going to bring to town Friday night that you have to be prepared for as far as their speed on the defensive side of this ball?
Well, speed kills it, and it doesn't matter if it's Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday. In this thing, they've got speed, and we're just going to have to try to get to ourselves and work ourselves and be in the right position in order to help that and be in good spots or position to make a tackle. So, adjusting to the speed is going to be something we'll probably have to do in that first drive and first quarter, and then hopefully we start to match that and get ourselves in position to make plays. So.
Coach, yes, what you said earlier about Cole Wright, number 8, the senior quarterback, passing for 163 yards, rushing for 162, and when you're going up against this team Friday night, you said the first time we got together that one of the things was you lost some guys on the front line last year, some bigger guys, and you had some guys stepping up. So I've asked them the question, but how do you feel about how that line is coming together and being able to take on a team like you're going to see Friday night to protect Cole, get him outside to pass or get him outside to run, or keep it and go? That guy can keep it and go.
Well, I think it's going to be a huge challenge for those guys. And, we'll see where we're at. We'll see how we measure up against a really good football team that played for a state championship last year. And I think several of their linemen are back, and we'll continue to improve and get better. And playing against a team like this will make you better, make you a better player, and it'll help us for the next game and the game after that and the game after that. So, it's going to be a big challenge for us. But I think our guys are going to be ready for it. Our consistency level right now is what we're working on to the offensive line. We've got to be more consistent.
More consistent?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: when you say it'll make us better for the next one and the next one, is it? Hey, you show up on Friday night to play, and the team is on the schedule. But is there any difference that it is GAC this Friday night in this region, and it's not the 6th game of the region play or game 5?
I don't know. It's just another Friday night game for us. It's the first region game, a Friday night game, homecoming game. So it's a little bit more special on that end of it. But these guys have worked hard. They've played in the summer against bigger schools, and I don't see that this will be any different than any other game that we're playing.
Well, I was down at GAC last year with you, and I thought you guys did really well in that game. And I think, although you didn't win that game, I thought actually watching several of those games that you guys really played them, and I think you played them well. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this here before we go. I already asked him earlier, and I asked everybody who gets here this week when you came, Matthew. This week when you came to practice. What did you say, I want to personally work on? I want to work on this week. I need to improve, and I want to get better at it.
Well, as I was watching film on GAC, one of the main things I saw was there was no pressure on that quarterback. I mean, that offensive line was surging for yards, and I'm going to put pressure on that guy. That was to get back there in the pocket and make him mess up. Just a little bit of pressure will help. And, I've seen hardly nobody get back there and put pressure on that guy or even get back there and make a tackle for a loss hardly. So that's the main thing I want to work on this week.
So you're determined to put some pressure on him this week?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I don't know. Something this guy got to get. Oh, absolutely. I love those solid answers. He's going to put pressure on him this week. 430 total yards. You have some big offensive. You have a lot of big offensive games in the first four. You've got a lot of offensive yards, and you've got some great defensive stats. But again, defense hasn't been on the field that much. What is Coach Allison's non-conference is over? It's conference play speech when you get to this point of the season for your team. How do you approach that with these young men? Conference is over, and it's
we didn't have a whole lot of talk about it. We knew they know what's getting ready to happen. They know we're getting ready to go into region play, and they know the implications of it, and they know what it means, and their goal is to win every ball game. And so that's why I say this ain't no different than last week. If we didn't win last week, and we couldn't win every one of them, and so that's what their goal is. And so and going into this thing, I guess in reality the record's you're 0-0 going into region play,
right.
And so so that's where we're working toward. We're working toward a region championship and a playoff win, and so they know what the goal is every week is to go out and win. Region game, non-region game, to me, it really didn't matter. And I don't think it matters to these guys either.
Well, guys, we wish you well at Team FYN Sports. We always promote young athletes in a positive way. I look forward to seeing you play on the side, be on the sideline Friday night, and we always wish you well. You have been watching Panthers Playback. Panthers Playback is brought to you by Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of Blairsville. And if you missed, now we want to encourage you to join our Facebook page, and that is Team FYN Sports Facebook page. And then also on Friday nights, follow us at Team FYN Sports on Twitter. And we want to thank Coach Allison and Coach Roxbury and our guests tonight, Brian Nelson, Dale Ruff, and Matthew Bicey.
Yep.
Got it?
Got it.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I don't want you to put pressure on me. All right, because you're determined, and I like that. Hey, this is region football time, so next week we're really going to be drilling down in. Things are going to tighten up here on the show. We're going to drill down in on the region play Friday night. GAC is coming to town, so come out and support your Panthers at 7:30. It's kickoff time. We've got a big home game here. And just a reminder, 3A, Region 7 consists of Fannin, Greater Atlanta Christian, North Hall, East Hall, Dawson County, and Lumpkin County. Now, starting next weekend in the region play, we'll bring you where everybody's at in the region and who has the next game and what the standings are. We'll start doing that next week as we get into that. We'll be back Monday night right here at Circuit World. Again, follow us Friday. Go like our Facebook page, Team FYN Sports. And follow us on Twitter at Team FYN Sports. And I think that's it, Richie. We good?
We're good.